In the forgotten corners of the world, where shadows dance with the unknown, and the silence holds secrets darker than the night, there exists a tale that transcends time itself. This is not a story for the faint of heart. It's a journey into the abyss of the supernatural, where reality blurs, and the line between nightmares and waking life begins to fade. Welcome to a realm where the echoes of the past linger in the air like a haunting melody, and every step forward unravels a new layer of terror. As you embark on this chilling odyssey, remember, some tales are meant to be buried, and some horrors should never be awakened. Prepare yourself for a descent into the macabre, for once you enter, there may be no escape from the darkness that awaits. The haunting illusion of the Magic Castle. The allure of the Magic Castle in Hollywood may be widespread, but beneath its enchanting facade lies a sinister truth, one that began with the promise of a night ending in passion. Initially skeptical of a mansion filled with purported wizards, I found myself immersed in a realm where magic seemed tangible. Multiple bars scattered throughout the mansion provided ample opportunities for indulgence, all concealed from Elisa's watchful eye. Yet the true revelation came with witnessing inexplicable feats. From witnessing fruit vanish into solid cups to participating in perplexing acts on stage, the experience left me both awestruck and unnerved. However, my unease reached a crescendo when called upon to participate in a magician's act, tightly binding his thumbs with utmost force. To my astonishment, his liberation defied logic, leaving me bewildered and humiliated. As the night drew to a close, Elisa's reassurance provided solace, albeit fleeting. Upon departing, a disconcerting urge led me back to the mansion's depths, where a harrowing spectacle unfolded before my eyes, a gruesome ritual involving a mutilated captive. Fear seized me, propelling my hasty retreat. Despite Elisa's amorous advances later that night, my mind remained haunted by the night's macabre revelation. Upon awakening, I hoped to shake off the lingering dread. Yet, a chilling discovery awaited me. The return of my jacket from the forbidden chamber, its warmth a sinister reminder of the horrors concealed within the Magic Castle's illusion. Devoured by desire. I wouldn't classify myself as a cannibal. Technically, I might fit the bill, but I resist such a label. I lack the impulse to feast on others. Never have I looked upon someone with the urge to devour them. Sure, the thought of their flavor may tempt me, but the guilt of consuming another human is too heavy to bear. Yet when it comes to myself, it's a different story. Let's get straight to the point. I've been indulging in parts of my own body. I see no issue with it. After all, it's my flesh, and I'll do with it as I please. However, I acknowledge the harm I'm inflicting upon myself. I'll likely meet my demise because of it. Hence, I feel compelled to share this confession. Not as a cautionary tale, no, I'd recommend sampling a piece of oneself. The succulent taste is unparalleled, but I'm aware that this isn't who I was before. It all began at that church. I was on a work trip, visiting a small farm for my job as a salesperson in the meat packaging industry. My travels take me to various locations, some quite obscure. On this particular trip, I stumbled upon a church. As a devout Christian, or at least I used to be, I decided to attend the nearest service. The church resembled any typical establishment found in the Bible Belt, a modest, one-room structure with aging wooden paneling. It didn't strike me as a cult hub, except perhaps for its peculiar name, the Church of His Holy Body. Despite the oddity, it seemed ordinary enough. Inside, the absence of crucifixes caught my attention. Instead, a large, ornate metal box occupied the space where the minister would usually stand. Crafted entirely from what appeared to be iron, its intricate patterns resembled marbled meat, with fat and flesh intertwining like a delicately prepared steak. Before I could inquire further, the priest entered. A robust figure, he welcomed me warmly and inquired about my faith. I affirmed my beliefs and expressed my desire to attend Mass, to which he graciously accommodated. Sitting alone in the church while the priest delivered verses directly to me felt peculiar but not alarming. It was during the Eucharist that things took a bizarre turn. Instead of offering bread, the priest insisted on placing the body directly into the mouths of the congregation. Familiar with this practice, I complied. What followed was unsettling. The priest reached into the iron box, producing something wet and warm. As he placed it on my tongue, I realized it wasn't bread, it was meat. Its unsettling texture and faint movements left me panicked, but the priest's words silenced my objections. It is the meat that gives life. The spirit is no help at all. The words that I have spoken to you are flesh and blood. I swallowed it against my instincts and fled the church, consumed by horror and confusion. Subsequently, I lost my appetite, unable to stomach any food without it tasting rotten. My journey into self-cannibalism began inadvertently. Nervously biting my nails, I discovered an unexpected taste, a reminder of a luxurious Wagyu steak. The descent into devouring myself escalated gradually, from drinking my own blood to slicing off chunks of flesh for sustenance. Despite the grotesque nature of my actions, I find solace in the belief that my flesh is delicious and cherished, a testament to my worth and desirability. However, with my self-imposed feast depleting my resources, I face an uncertain fate. I fear the day when my body can no longer sustain my insatiable hunger, leaving me to confront the terrifying reality of my existence. Echoes of the abyss. In the dimly lit confines of our living room, Alex and I sat, enveloped in an oppressive atmosphere. A solitary candle flickered on the coffee table, casting eerie shadows that danced along the walls. The unease that had settled over us since we first delved into the enigmatic horror novel, Whispers of the Abyss, persisted, a haunting presence that refused to dissipate. With the stroke of midnight, Alex voiced the dread that had consumed us both. His words echoed my own troubled thoughts as we grappled with the relentless onslaught of nightmares that plagued our sleep. We found ourselves ensnared in a sinister dreamscape, each night bringing forth visions so vivid they felt like reality itself. The notion that the cursed novel was to blame crept into our minds, a chilling possibility that hinted at dark forces beyond our comprehension. Determined to unravel the mystery and break free from the grip of terror, we embarked on a quest to uncover the origins of Whispers of the Abyss and the truth behind its malevolent influence. Our investigation led us to a quaint antiquarian bookstore where we gleaned tantalizing information about the elusive author, Edgar Blackwood. Rumors swirled around Blackwood's reclusive nature and his alleged involvement in arcane practices, lending credence to the idea that his stories held a power beyond the written word. Armed with newfound knowledge, we set out to confront Blackwood himself, tracing his trail to a secluded mansion shrouded in darkness. As we ventured deeper into the eerie confines of the mansion, the air grew heavy with a palpable sense of foreboding, and we found ourselves teetering on the precipice of the unknown. In a room filled with dusty tomes and flickering candles, we stumbled upon a typewriter bearing a cryptic message from Blackwood himself. The revelation that we had become unwitting participants in his malevolent masterpiece sent a shiver down our spines, our fates inexorably entwined with the cursed narrative. With mounting dread, we realized that escape was but a fleeting hope, the boundaries between reality and fiction blurring as we descended further into Blackwood's twisted realm. Each attempt to break free only served to deepen our entanglement, the nightmare growing ever more insidious with each passing moment. In a climactic confrontation with Blackwood, we faced our greatest challenge yet, the very fabric of reality warping around us as we struggled to defy the author's malevolent will. In a blinding flash of light, the curse was shattered, and we found ourselves liberated from the abyss that had ensnared us. As we emerged from the cursed mansion, the echoes of Blackwood's creation lingered, a haunting reminder of the horrors we had endured. Though we had escaped the nightmare, its legacy would forever haunt our memories, a chilling testament to the power of Whispers of the Abyss. And as we stepped into the cool night air, a whisper carried on the wind, the voice of Blackwood echoing ominously in our minds. Though the nightmare had ended, the echoes of its torment would forever linger, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked within the pages of his cursed novel. Keep running. During my childhood, my parents would frequently leave me at my uncle's cabin in the woods for summer vacations because they were unable to take time off work. Surprisingly, I cherished my time there, despite being a 9-year-old city girl and my uncle being a 57-year-old retired officer living in the countryside. We formed a strong bond and became best friends. Each day was filled with simple joys like watching cartoons, having breakfast in bed, fishing at the lake, and running errands in town. I particularly enjoyed our walks in the beautiful forest surrounding the cabin, although my uncle always insisted on accompanying me, which I interpreted as him indulging my adventures rather than watching over me. However, one night I decided to sneak out, feeling adventurous and rebellious. While exploring the forest at night, I became disoriented and lost my way back to the cabin. Panic set in as the surroundings took on an eerie atmosphere, with strange sounds and shadows haunting me. I cried and waited for my uncle to find me, feeling scared and vulnerable. When he finally appeared and took my hand, I felt relieved and safe. But my relief turned to horror when I realized that the hand gripping mine was not my uncle's, but that of a sinister stranger with black bony fingers. In a moment of terror, I attempted to break free from the stranger's grasp, but before I could react, a gunshot rang out nearby. My uncle had come to my rescue, shooting the creature and allowing me to escape. With newfound courage, I followed my uncle's instructions to run and eventually found my way back to safety. The events that followed were a blur as my uncle was rushed to the hospital and my parents were notified. I was questioned by the police about the attack, but I was too traumatized to speak. Since then, my family has avoided discussing the incident, and I have not returned to the cabin for summer vacations. As I've grown older, I've questioned whether the events of that night were real or simply a product of my childhood imagination. Recently, my uncle visited me, and as I prepared for bed, I received a call from him claiming he couldn't make it due to urgent matters. Just then, I saw my bedroom door open slightly, revealing long black fingers pushing through. Relentless infestation. A persistent cockroach keeps targeting me, burrowing into my skin despite my efforts to eradicate it. Encountering the cockroach initially caught me off guard. Typically unbothered by insects, I was startled to find it crawling up my arm, unnoticed. I swatted it away, feeling remorseful for its diminutive size and futile attempt to approach me. However, the insect showed resilience, returning toward me with deliberate movements. As it neared my foot, fear gripped me once more, prompting a forceful stomp to crush it. Neglecting to clean up the remains, I returned to my activities, dismissing the incident. The next day, a peculiar pain on my hip revealed another intrusion. Another cockroach, seemingly attempting to burrow beneath my skin, provoked a frantic reaction. Despite my attempts to eliminate it with insect spray, it vanished. Motivated by the incident, I embarked on a cleaning spree, only to find traces of the previous day's encounter. A patch of blood with remnants of bug legs. Subsequent encounters escalated, with phantom sensations plaguing my sleepless nights. Attempts to confide in my flatmate yielded skepticism, attributing my distress to external stressors. However, the discovery of a hole in the wall harboring the enlarged cockroach validated my escalating concerns. Frustrated by the lack of information online, I resorted to unconventional measures, implanting a microchip in the insect to track its movements. Fleeing Auckland in desperation, I sought refuge in Hamilton, only to realize the relentless pursuit of the cockroach, now imbued with technological tracking capabilities. Facing the imminent threat, compounded by physical discomfort and psychological torment, I am left with uncertainty and a plea for guidance in confronting this unyielding infestation. As we close the pages of this tales, The echoes of fear linger in the shadows, a reminder that some nightmares never truly end. If you enjoyed this descent into darkness, don't forget to subscribe for more tales that will send shivers down your spine. But beware, dear viewer, for once you've glimpsed the abyss, it may not be so easy to look away.